So it was always on it. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Friday. I'm super excited to introduce you to one of our agent here at Keller Williams LA Harbor. Um, we had lots of conversation about this call, and we were talking about expectation and standards. And Rosemary is one that she's such a humble person, and I'm very, very proud to call her, not just an agent, but also a friend and family. Her and her husband are just great, great people. So I want to go ahead and kick off and introduce you to Rosemary Vejar. She's one of ours. And let's just jump right on in. So, Rosemary, let's talk about what did you do before real estate? And we'll kind of tell your story as we go along.
So before real estate, my primary, I was mom. I was raising my two kids. And in between, I was trying to do me, but trying to be most present for them, being, at the team mom and whatnot. I was trying to finish school, which was always a goal of mine because I was a young mom. And then from there, I would have jobs to help my husband because raising two kids that are in sports and it's not easy, it gets expensive. And my job before real estate, it was a temporary job. It was my last year of school and I got very comfortable. While I was at that job, I knew I wanted to do real estate. I was getting my teaching degree. So in my head and the conversations my husband had, the plan was I was going to be a real estate agent. And for the first few years, I was going to be a substitute teacher. And I just got really comfortable at my job and did not pursue real estate the way I should have. And then I finally started taking the classes, signed up at Keller Williams. And then I was just taking my time doing it. Then the pandemic happened.
Right.
And then I took another step back. And then, of course, there was layoffs shortly after the pandemic. And the day I was laid off, I was okay with it. Shortly before I got laid off, I was listening to a podcast about when one door closes, another one opens. So I left feeling good, knowing what I was going to be doing soon.
Wow, that's amazing. What a big leap. So from teaching to real estate, I mean, that's two different worlds. So is it safe to say that your pivotal point in jumping into real estate was when they laid you off during the pandemic and you were perfectly okay with that situation and knowing that your future was something totally different. Is that correct?
Yes, and at that point also, I think my kids had already graduated high school, so it was really time to start focusing on myself. And at that point, I never started subbing. I never got into the teaching because thank goodness I didn't need to.
Right.
And I was able to start real estate, which was something I was interested in from the first house that we bought. And it was just, I loved looking at homes. So that's one of the big things that got me into real estate.
That's amazing. No, that's great. Thank you so much. So let's kind of shift. You've got your license. So you're now licensed you're about a year in. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. So I know that you have many options, just like we all do. I mean, there's many brokerages out there. There's also a lot of our other offices as well, excluding our four sister offices. But why choose our family in particular?
So that goes back to when I first started looking, where am I going to get educated at for real estate? And I did a little research, decided I did want to go with the Keller Williams school. And at that time, it was through Cal Realty, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I went to one of the other Keller Williams offices. It didn't feel like the right place for me. So then I went to our LA Harbor office and it just felt like home right away. And of course, it took me 5 years from the day I signed up for classes to actually get my license because I was just procrastinating on that. And by that time, when I went and spoke with you, because I did go to other brokerages, and just speaking with you and being back there again, it just felt like a good place to be. The vibe was good. It felt like home.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. No, that's amazing. And, and we're all very fortunate to have you, but also we're very fortunate to have our sister offices all connected too. So I think that's a huge asset for Asian, all of us. So let's kind of dial into your business now. And, we have spoken quite a bit about, you being on this call. I know you're very nervous. Don't be, we're all family. And, we're talking about standards a little bit. So you went from a mom to having your teaching credentials to getting your license and coming in pretty much in our industry we call it green, right? Like
Correct.
not having a lot of experience under our belt in regards to real estate, which that's most, well, actually I would say it's all of us. We don't come into real estate already knowing the industry. So how did it feel? How did it feel when you realized that, you were one of our top 20 percenters? I mean, how did that feel? And meaning that, you're a capper now, your production has been consistent and, you've jumped in full force and just launched your business. How does that feel to you?
Feels a little surreal. I'm not meeting my personal goals yet. And we had this conversation yesterday where I'm like, I don't know if I should be on this call, Mary. I'm not where I want to be, but we talked about it and what I have done, they are wins. And it's rewarding to know that I've come this far so soon.
Correct. No, absolutely. And for those of us that is on the call, sometimes we forget that we're constantly looking at the big picture, but we have to back it out and make sure that we're also looking at the little pictures as well. Um, so what is it that you do, or what have you done in the past year to ensure that your momentum is going to keep on going? What are some of the resources and tools you're putting in place?
One of the big things I started off early was doing a lot of open houses. I actually enjoy doing open houses. They're fun. Of course, everything's nerve-wracking at the beginning. I haven't actually got much from open houses. I have gotten a few leads I'm trying to stay connected with. Of course, just try to network outside of, the office and kind of mention the people that you're in real estate without being too pushy about it. Posting on social media, that has helped. I have had a couple referrals from there. People that I kind of know will refer me out to a family member, and that has been really helpful. I do know that I need to grow what I'm doing to get more leads, and that's going to ultimately be cold calling and door knocking.
Okay, so those are the two pieces that you're currently doing. So let's dive into that a little bit because we do have quite a few agents that just joined our family. They just got their license. So let's talk about the two pieces that you're currently working on. Open houses. How does your open house look? What is it that you do before, during, and after?
So at least the day before, definitely door knocking the neighborhood. Not very many people answer their door, but you get one or two that do leave the flyer on the doorstep, or on the door, not in the mailbox. Found out that we can't do that.
No.
And then, from there I have them sign in, and, I try to always have like water or snack and, a little background music, and do my research on the neighborhood a little bit. Because some people are familiar with the neighborhood, some are not. So try to give them a background on that. Try to find out as much as I can about the house because they are definitely full of questions. And then from there, just try to follow up on those calls.
Yeah. And where do you get majority of your open houses from? If it's not your listing.
Our in-house agents, and if not, I get on the MLS. start calling. My mentor, when I started, gave me a little hint, which has worked really well for me. If we call other agents that are out of the area code, they are always very happy to let you host their open house.
Yeah. And how would you determine an out of area agent?
So we're 310 area code. So anyone in the 213, 909, 714, they're more than 30 minutes away. They're usually happy to give the open house to someone else.
Right, right. No, absolutely. And then do you mind if I ask, what's the conversation like? So let's say, for example, I'm the agent that is in Orange County, the 714 area code. How would you ask me for an open house?
That's been really easy and just like, hey, I'm Rosemary. I'm calling from Keller Williams, LA Harbor. How are you? I see you have a listing at such and such address. I would love to host an open house for you. Would that be okay?
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. So let's shift into cold calling. How has that been?
Uh, that I'm still working on.
Okay.
That has been a fear of mine. Cold calling and door knocking has been a fear. I've done the door knocking for open house, but not in general. And those two are two fears that I greatly have, and definitely I'm working on those. Even just doing the follow-up calls have been kind of difficult for me, but it's just getting out of our comfort zone that I know is making a difference and gonna make a difference. So I finally have all my numbers set up where I'm going to start making those calls. So hopefully we could revisit that question later on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's definitely interesting to watch you kind of on the sideline, so to speak, and how you've grown your business and, and the kind of the tenacity that you have. Now, what does a day look like? Like what is it that you do every single day, the moment you wake up? Like give us a day in Rosemary's life.
That still varies. So I'm done raising my kids. Now my parents are elderly. So I do give a lot of time to them. So my days could vary. That there's days I would call my real estate days, get up, go work out, come home, get ready for the day, try to make it to the office. And from there, it's returning phone calls um, to leads that I have, maybe doing home searches for clients, which that I've had leads that I started with a year ago, and they take step backs and they come back, and it's just staying on top of them. That's also been helpful. And I mean that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
I don't have a great setup yet, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like in our business, we're constantly evolving. We have a lot of producing agent on our call as well. And I'm sure, we can all testify or have our testimony that, we're constantly evolving and revolving around what's happening on our business. I don't think that we would ever nail it down to the T because it's constantly changing, and that's okay. Awesome. So what are your goals for 2024? Let's talk about that.
Actually listening to these calls, listening to other agents, hearing what they're doing. There's a lot of systems intact that I hear people have. They're very good about doing their cold calling, setting up that time, hitting a certain number of calls per day, not a week, but per day. And it's a big number. So that is my goal, where I'm setting myself up for the beginning of the year, where I want to be. How am I going to get there? I'm going to get there by doing A, B, C, D, and just starting from there, like really having those systems in play.
No, I love that. And are you currently having anyone holding you accountable?
Um, well, we've developed great friendships at the office, and a lot of the agents that I've started with at the same time, we have our little group chats, which I'm thankful for. We check in with each other on weekly basis. We somewhat hold ourselves accountable there. And yeah, just connecting with you or other agents. It's a good way of the reminders. Hey, are you making those calls? I have one agent that is holding me accountable right now, and I need to check in with her daily to make sure I'm making my calls. And that's been helpful because now I know I have to do it. And that is helpful, but I firmly believe in having those systems set up where, you know, it's just going to be done. And I don't need anyone to be like, hey, are you getting it done? It's always helpful, but I do want to hold myself more accountable.
I love that. Thank you for that. And okay, so we've kind of touched base a lot. So your 2024 goals, do you do you feel that there are things that you are working on to improve? What other systems you're putting in place to ensure that you're going to hit your goals for 2024?
Definitely, that would be, even a schedule on calling the leads that we meet at open house. Okay, next day, send them a text. Maybe that Monday, give them a call. If they don't answer, give them a call again the next day, and then from there, just you try to reach out for 2 weeks. And then from there, just start trying to call them monthly or whatnot till they tell you to not call. But most people aren't
Exactly.
going to tell you that. So just sending them a text or, an email. Those are the kind of systems I want to have down packed along with the cold calling, how often I'm going to call people, setting them up on, emails. So it's easier to reach out to people. Those are definitely goals I want to set up for 2024. I've already doing them, but I do want to have it more systematically.
Right. No, absolutely. Now, are there any plans to be hiring an assistant to join your team at any given time next year at all?
No, I'm not there yet. That would be a nice goal for the future. But as of now, I think just, putting that hustle out there. And sometimes I'm not even getting anything back from, doing all these calls, but just putting myself out there. Somehow the leads come from somewhere else. And I'm a
Exactly.
firm believer in the energy that we're putting out there, the positive energy. You're doing the work. It may not come from where you're currently putting the work, and it might come from somewhere else. Eventually, it is going to come from those calls. Eventually, it is going to come from the door knocking. But just doing it all, you get a client from here and there, and it adds up.
Right. No, absolutely. And the universe works very mysteriously. Like you said, you're focusing on one thing, but then you realize the one thing that you're pouring into another bucket fills into you. So I think that it's very interesting on how that works. So we've kind of, again, we've kind of touched base on quite a bit. We talked about your 2024. Now, what what is the one you did state that you were listening to podcasts. Do you mind sharing what are you currently listening and how are you working to grow your inner self, your mind, your health? Like what is it that you're doing to ensure that you're getting that completed?
One of my favorite motivational speakers is Ed Milet. He's on point all the time. I was really bummed. I know he went to one of the Keller Williams event. I missed it. I wasn't able to hear his talk, but he's definitely one of my top ones. And I do try to get a little bit of religion in there as well. And some girl power. What is her name? Cara. Her book is called The Champagne Diet.
Oh, okay.
And she has a podcast. I love her. It's also motivating. And at the end, everyone, it's not being scared, not having the fear, just going out and doing it, putting that good energy out there, and it'll come, it'll work out, believing in yourself.
Right. No, I love that. I love that. And we do have a question in the chat. Hi, Bob. Bob asked, where did your clients come from that you close?
Um, from my sphere, I guess. Uh, one of my first clients, my very first client was my son. He's actually the one that pushed me to get my license because I was really procrastinating on taking that test. And he's like, Mom, I'm going to get my house. I'm going to get my house. I need you to be my agent. So he got the ball rolling from there. And then from there, the first a few clients were from me posting on social media and, having someone I know, but I wouldn't necessarily call friends, just acquaintances. Hey, I see you're doing real estate. I want to sell my home and buy another one. And from there, I have had a couple people refer me out to their family members, and that's just from posting on social media. And then from there, the ones that I'm still kind of working on are a couple leads from open houses and just reminding people that I'm doing real estate. Recently, we went to a high school football game and we sat and talked with old friends, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you do real estate. I'm gonna be buying. We need to connect," and then you just take it from there.
Nice, nice. No, I love that. So sphere of influence, you talked about social media. Yep. So Dolph asked, what social media platform worked best for you?
Instagram, that's what I'm most familiar with. That's where I post the most stories and an actual post. I'm trying to get better at doing that on Facebook. And I definitely want to start doing that on TikTok as well. It's just hard to be in front of the camera. So TikTok might be a little scarier, but yeah, my main social media has been Instagram.
So is it safe to say that 80-90% of your business has came from Instagram or at least a social media platform?
Yes.
Okay. And do you feel that you spend the bulk of your time the way you lead gen is on your social media?
Um, No, I mean, I'm just posting what I'm doing day to day as, an agent. We're
Mhm.
going to see brokers open, post that, maybe give a little house tour, maybe just put my favorite, you know, character about the house, post the open house I'm doing, maybe post that hey, I'm going to go show a client a house. We're doing this. Here's a little bit of what the house looks like. That's basically what I'm posting, and it's just reminding people, hey, I'm in real estate, and
Right.
because once you're out of mind, out of sight, they do forget about you. So it's just
Absolutely.
being out there, reminding them what you're doing, and it does keep they stay you stay on their mind doing
Right.
that.
Nope. Absolutely. I agree. If you're not in front of them, they won't know. No, absolutely. I love that. So, as far as your social media content, you were talking about that. Are you doing it all by yourself, or do you have like a personal assistant that or a VA that's doing your social media?
Currently, I'm doing it by myself.
Wow.
I do see what others do and they have someone posting for them, and that is definitely something I want to look into. Um, yeah, but for now, I'm doing it on my own.
Jack of all trades, you're doing everything on your own and growing a business, being a wife and being a mom. That's amazing. So, if we were to if we were to be in 2024, same time next year around October 27th, how would you like your business to be a year from now?
A year from now, we'll be on this call again. And I will have more to share, telling you, hey, I did my cold calling, I did my door knocking, and I'm booming.
Right.
That's definitely one thing. And just really having, those systems in play is what my goal is, to be able to grow my business better. And I'm a bit of an introvert, so socializing, going out and to parties and events, sometimes it's hard, but it makes a difference. I mean, just getting to know other agents, being out there and being in the office makes a difference. People see that you're hustling, they'll offer you open to host their open house,
Mhm.
or just any advice, or they're there for you. So it's definitely worth getting to know other agents, and just even going to excuse me, going to neighborhood events, because you're out there, people start getting to know you. I feel like that's all making a difference. I went to a local event last week, reconnected with a lead I had. So he's now calling a lender so we could get him going. So that makes a difference, just being out there.
I love that. Thank you. That's awesome. So if you were to have one advice for our agents that's on the call, what would that be?
Don't quit. Don't quit. Keep going. Keep going. It'll happen. And definitely just we need to get out of our comfort zone.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's okay to be uncomfortable. I mean, that's kind of when we have our breakthroughs anyways, right? No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. No, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I know we only have a couple more minutes. Is there any other questions that any of you may have? Definitely target her. If you want more information on anything that Rosemary's doing, please reach out. She's always, always available. She's amazing and super, super awesome human being itself. But does anyone else have anything? Just want to make sure. Cool. Okay, well, I do appreciate you. We thank you. I know it's always nerve-wracking for you to be on a call like this, but I do appreciate you volunteering. And we're super excited to watch you grow and continue your business as well. And we can't wait to hear your next success story.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for everyone being on here. And Mary, thank you so much for all your support always. I appreciate it.
Of course, it is my pleasure. Well, have a great Friday,
Good
everyone.
job, Rosemary.
Thank you.
You guys,
Thanks, Rosemary. Bye.
bye.
Bye. All right. Have a
Everyone, take
great
care.
weekend.
You're
Appreciate it.
awesome, Rosemary.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Take care. Thanks, Kim.
Bye.